we, 3 preachers, almost got in a fight. I said, yo, hey, man, hey, bro. He hit me with the Denzel. Get your hands off me.
Sure did.
He did. Get your hands off me.
I thought that was going to be it.
The Decatur in me went, I'm like, I'm finna rock somebody's socks.
Tell me what I can say how you messed me up with my wife.
What? Well, it could have. Okay, here's the thing. What's up, fam? Welcome once again to The Certified Man. I am KD Bowe. I am the host of The Certified Man podcast. Let me tell you something. This episode today is going to be phenomenal. In the studio with me, I got my hitters. They back.
Derwin Davis, pastor of Reach Church over in Lithonia, Georgia. Excited to be here.
And
Jasper Williams III. Williams.
Do it again.
Man, you've always done that. Jasper Williams. I do that.
Yes, you do.
Jasper Williams III. Preacher, speaker, author, mental health care advocate.
All right, so, gentlemen, we had a great weekend.
Great weekend.
There were so many takeaways from this weekend. I felt like we need to come back in the studio to discuss it. We're not going to discuss everything, but we're going to discuss what really stood out.
We won't discuss your part.
So we starting already? Are we starting already? Because we can start. I mean, I can write down a few things, But what I loved about it, man, was it was guys getting away from it all and deciding to just kind of pour into ourselves.
Right.
And I thought that was dope. You're about to get married.
Yes. Next week, it's the I do. Forever and ever.
How you feel?
Man, I'm excited. I'm tired, but I'm invigorated. It's kind of the weirdest thing, man. You know, we were literally going to elope, and we decided to do this wedding in 60 days. So it's been, but I'm excited, man.
Good stuff, man. So it was your bachelor's weekend.
Absolutely.
And we were the most. So if you were looking for some salaciousness, to pop off. No, player. It didn't go down like that. We had fun.
We had a lot of fun.
We know how to have fun. You can dance your butt off.
That I will.
This one over here be wearing the floor out too.
Oh yeah,
he was a little more demure.
There was nothing left after Derwin got finished patting his Baptist deacon foot to Mary J. Blige.
I was just glad when Boots on the Ground came up, he didn't do that.
Oh no, I'm not. No, absolutely not.
We don't. Hey,
we let the ladies have that fan popping in there.
Just in case you didn't know.
No,
you can't rip.
No,
that ain't for you, player.
Player, you got to hit the you gotta let them put the boots on the ground. Okay.
Yeah. But man, when we got there, here's the thing that really stood out to me. One, when we got to the Airbnb, you did something that I thought was incredible. You prayed over the Airbnb, but it was a unique kind of prayer. And
yes.
I kind of want to know more about that. I know I wanted to dig into it, and I know you said that you got to kind of cleanse hotel rooms and everything. I do my version of it, but yours was unique. And what was that about?
First of all, before he says it, I'm grabbing my luggage out of the car. I'm walking in the door, and Bowe does this hand, like stop, like he's the usher of First Mount Pisgah Baptist Temple number 2 over on the east side of Atlanta, where they got, it's like, they be having them nursing suit on.
Yeah, white gloves.
So, he give me the hand, stop. And I hear this, cleanse the ground. Go and take it from there, because I'm standing there with my luggage like, what the world? But it was powerful and prolific.
Yeah, so we think that the natural has the impact on the spiritual, but it's the other way around. Whatever goes on in the spiritual, we end up seeing and interacting with the spiritual in the natural. And so oftentimes we don't walk in our authority as sons and daughters of God. And I learned this a while back. Have you ever been, all right, so you use the Airbnb as one of the, as the place in which the prayer was played, but have you ever been in a place that felt dark and felt like, what in the world happened on in here before? Some of those places are sometimes in our homes. We don't know who lived there before, or an apartment. If somebody's buying a funeral home, old funeral home, there's just this sense of, and I'll use a word that Christians aren't comfortable with. There's an energy that is there, that is left.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know who was there prior to us,
Right.
even though they were one of the top tier sellers, most super host or had the best reviews. I don't remember what you call it, Airbnb. We don't know who had stayed there prior.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if they were rented it for some kind of illicit sexual activity, if there
True.
was drug use, and all that kind of stuff leaves an imprint inside of the land and even in the air. And so understanding that, I chose, you gentlemen joined me in your authority, in agreement.
Mm-hmm.
I chose to pray a prayer that I pray anytime I go anywhere.
Wow.
And even sometimes in public places. And how can I do that? Because whenever I'm invited somewhere, the kingdom of God, it shows up. That's based on Luke chapter 17. And so the prayer was simply offering to God first worship.
Mm-hmm.
When you worship God, there's something that happens. People get worship mixed up. They think that it's supposed to be with music or some CeCe Winans playing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
No, worship is when we express to God what we feel about him.
Mm-hmm.
And so after there was the worship, then there was the command, commanding the demonic to confront and center and to separate themselves. Is a whole different thing. And then I issued an instruction to them. Hey, listen, you have no right, no privilege, because the spiritual realm is built on legality. You have no right or privilege or even opportunity to interfere with our dreams, our enjoyment, our conversation. And there were some other things. And so there came the issue. And then what socked him in the face, as my mom would say, socked him in the face,
Right.
was I instructed the demonic to go back and to replay the tape of the worship
Yes.
that had just happened.
Yes.
And then I cleansed our Airbnb with the blood, the electrical, the all utilities. Yeah, so that's what happened.
And you even said, here's the part that got me, leave without, you said leave quietly or leave without something.
Yeah. So demons and deliverance and the supernatural can be built on sensationalism. So you start seeing the twisting heads and the alternate voices. And I'm not going to say that does not happen. I had a mentor once tell me that the best deliverance is a quiet deliverance. And so that's what I ended up punctuating that prayer with. Leave now, stay gone. See, we only had a certain amount of time that we could be there. So I couldn't take authority over our past checkout time.
Right.
So leave now, wait off property without any interference.
Without any interference.
Yep. Until the Lord allows you to return to where you are legally have a right to. And then these words, go right now and go quietly without any mess or issue.
Yeah. I think that was powerful. As a matter of fact, you know what I want to do? Would you be willing to write that prayer out?
Yeah, I'll do that for you. Now, here's my caveat.
Yes.
And ultimately, this will be up to you. I will write the prayer, but I'll only do it. I mean, I wouldn't want the prayer released unless you had a certain number of people that said prayer in the chat. Because sometimes we think it's a good idea. But of course, I'll leave the autonomy
What's
to
that
you.
number?
What's that number? You really want me to say?
Yes.
Why don't you say? It's your audience.
50.
Okay, that was the number that was in my head. You get 50 people that write prayer.
I'll be walking with the master.
You get 50 people that write prayer, and I'll leave it to you on how you send it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. So if you want that prayer, because, we all travel, and I was in a hotel room in New York recently, and I'm saying, now I do my version of it, but I just like yours better. And I think mine worked. We was pretty good.
No, there is grace. We all get grace until we grow into a certain place. I've been doing this for probably since 2007 to 2008. So however many years that is, standing in authority and expecting my words to cause and to command the atmosphere. So God gives a grace. There's nowhere in the world. I was messing with you the other day and I said, do it. You said, what? Make the introduction. This is KD Bowe. I don't know how you did it, but you just went right into it.
Yeah.
I'd have to think
the voiceover
about,
thing.
because you've done it so many times.
Yeah.
And there are more elements that need to be included. How it is that we flow. See, the religious spirit is what makes us think if we do this, 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 and this, we'll end up with this result. That's the religious spirit. Put a big X over that. God is not concerned about our religion. God wants a relationship with us. And when we have the relationship and the pieces, then we can build what God wants to have built, or that he gives us room as a son or daughter to actually build.
Because the truth is, man, like I was saying, you don't know what has happened in this hotel room. Yeah. You don't know who was violated. You don't know who was doing some stuff with somebody they wasn't married to.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And so that atmosphere it can be weird. So if you want that prayer, put prayer in the chat. All right, let's pivot. You ready? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we 3 preachers almost got in a fight. We're gonna go there. Now, okay, so y'all guess. Y'all tell me real quick before I say it. Put in the chat who you think was bout it, and who you think made it all go away. Because one of those 2 things was in place. Somebody was bout it. The other one was backing up the one that was bout it. And then the other one was like, hey, and he dissolved it. Which one y'all think? I'm 1, he's 2, and he's 3. So which one you think was bout it? Which one you think was, I don't want to point. Which one you think was about it? Which one you think was the backup? And which one do you think calmed everything down?
1 is KD, 2 is Jasper, and 3 is Derwin.
Yep.
All right, tell me when I can. Yep.
Okay, go.
No. Tell me what I can say. How you messed me up with my wife.
What?
You don't remember that?
Oh, that's right.
She got mad.
Did she? I was wondering about that.
Yeah. Well, you.
I was wondering about that
because my wife knows me,
but she was so cool with it.
She said, "Oh, she's a hitter." We talking about a hitter. My wife, she is not going to say anything in public, but when we get in private, and she's going to say it with so much dignity and grace. So I don't know if that's enough time, but I need to tell that part of the story.
I should have told her like what actually
she
happened.
Believed you thoroughly.
Well, it could have. Okay, here's the thing. So let me just tell the story. All right, so and you guys can jump in how you see fit. I know why you laughing. Yeah, Joe Clark, and I'll tell you that in a minute. So. We're walking on, what was it? We're in Ybor City. We're in Ybor City. And we just decide for some reason to walk down the street. It's getting late.
Where's Ybor City?
Ybor City's in Tampa. It's like a suburb or
just south of Tampa, yeah.
Part of Tampa. So we decide we're going to walk down this way because it's late. It's about, 2 in the morning.
1:32 in the morning, yeah.
Yeah, 2, maybe 3, in the morning. And we just out. It felt good. The temperature was great.
It was lit.
Man, it was so lit, and people were still showing up. But we was like, man, at a certain time, I'm 52. What's happening right now? I mean, there ain't but so much you can do. So we decided we're gonna go home. We walk down the street. We hear all this noise, and I look, and I see this man is like pushed out of the way. And I see 3 ladies. I think it was 3, right? It was 3 ladies. 3 ladies. One was pregnant, and the other 2 was just popping off. And all I heard was, "Blank you, blank you. Get on, Mike. Blank you." So I come around the corner, and so, my antennas go up when I hear that. And I saw him, I saw her. He was definitely the aggressor. And I said, oh, man, I can't let this happen. But I know what it's like. I've been here before. So I'm like, I'm with my boys. Maybe we can intervene a little bit because it will never, ever, 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 ever happen on my watch that a woman is being abused and I'm there and I do nothing. Now, I know that some of y'all don't feel that way, but because you don't know all the narrative and everything. And I'm not here to just impose my will per se. I'm going to watch, see what's happening. And hey, at a minimum, y'all not going to fight in front of me. At a minimum, I'm not going to let y'all fight in front of me. Because I don't know what's happening. So anyway, come around there. And so he is starting to be really upset. We find out now that this is his wife. She takes her ring off. She throws the ring. He's pissed. So it gets to a point where he kind of yokes her up against the wall. And I saw that and I was really, really uncomfortable. I said, hey, now I got it. So I just kind of grabbed him by the shoulder here. And wasn't no kung fu grip. Wasn't no extra. I said, yo, hey, man, hey, bro. He hit me with the Denzel. Get your hands off me.
As he showed it.
He did.
Get your hands off me.
I thought that was going to be it.
Right. So, okay, here we go. Oh, yeah. So, and so I'm like, my man, but you can't do this. I'm like this, but you can't do this. Like, you see what I'm saying?
That's
like,
important.
I'm gonna beef with you.
No smoke.
But I can't let this happen. So then he said, touch me again. So this is when it starts getting crazy for me. So I didn't tell y'all this part. So stuff starts slowing down when I start to. So stuff starts slowing down. Yeah. So I handed you my mic. I hand my mic.
You were the coolest. You said, "Take my stuff for me."
Yeah, he had his package.
Yeah, and you had a bag on your hands. I'm trying to get it off your hands.
Mm-hmm. I handed him my stuff.
So cool, yeah.
And so in my mind, I'm sizing him up. I'm like, dude, about 5'8". He's real cock strong. He looked like he's strong. He's pretty well dressed, so he looks healthy. So I can't kick him in his knees because typically the quads on them dudes, you can't. The knees don't work. You're gonna put yourself in a bad condition. So I say I'm tall, so I can just, I can hit that neck. All of this is happening real quick. All this, and so, but then I also remembered that when I looked in his eyes, because you was about to intervene.
Yeah, because when you passed the bag, the Decatur in me went. I'm like, I'm about to
FINNA.
I'm finna rock somebody's socks. So I was cool. I was, I saw him get slapped. I mean, she slapped the taste out of his mouth.
Oh, she was trying to bite his face.
Yeah, she tried. I mean, I saw she slapped him. Then her friends is jumping in, and he trying to go back. So I'm seeing the back and forth. I see when you grab his shoulder, like you like my man. But when you pass the bag, the Jasper, the Decatur in me is like, oh, it's about to go down. And I
thought I passed the bag to you. I passed it to you.
No, you passed, because when you pass the bag to Jasper, that's
I don't even remember. I thought I passed it to you.
No.
Because my mind was somewhere else. All I'm saying is
that hitter in me.
So I'm like, okay, so it's up at this point. So I'm like, okay, here's what it is. Kind of shaking a little bit because the adrenaline is flowing. So then I remembered that when I looked in his eyes, I didn't see somebody that was about that life. I didn't see it. So when you was about to walk up on him, I said, oh, I don't think he's going to hit her. I don't get that he's going to hit her. This man is really hurt. There's something else is going on. So we followed them and we walked around the corner. By this time, Jasper has walked off. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, he probably gonna get some help.
When you gave me your bag, yeah, and I saw that you were handling it and Durham was right there, I was like, let me go do something else. There at the end, when we picked the story up, mm-hmm. So at the end, while y'all engaging, there were police everywhere. At the end of where all this is happening, there's a police car. So
the police was everywhere, for sure.
I look in the police car, nobody's there. So I'm like, what in the world's going on? They all bunched up, somewhere else. So I look and I see another police car. They had the lights on. 2 police cars. I go to one, nobody is there. I look in number 2, 2 cops are sitting there. And I said, hey, there's some domestic violence that's happening. You might want to come check on this. And I head back to y'all because I don't know how I am going to be able to be used of the Lord. There's this one guy, one police officer, he starts walking quickly down the street. Next thing you know, we're there. And then... So
wait, so hold on.
All right.
So we walked around the corner, and so we see them off in a distance. And he's still trying to walk up on him. So, let's let it play out. Because if it plays out crazy, then we're going to intervene. All right? So I saw... like 2 other girls joined in.
Yep.
And then they pushed Mike. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, this is about to be crazy. So he said, what's his name? I said, it's Mike. She said, Mike. Mike stopped.
And he looked.
and then went back to it. So then he says, all right, Mike. So Mike stops and Mike comes to where we are. And now you can take it up.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So when Derwin says Mike and he gets his attention, there's a structure. Well, the voice is built on structure. If we could look at these walls, science proved this. Every word that's ever been spoken is in these walls. When Jesus says to the rocks, and the rocks will cry out, it's voice that imprints a matter. And so Derwin, being in the educational system, having to tamp down situations, having to be politically correct with students, having to diffuse parents, those years of being in that place to where you have to know what to do, your voice is so tempered to where the structures that have been built command the authority as well as your personality. And then you get real big in your person. You got that heft in your voice, and you can be a bit imposing.
So let me so then I'm gonna hand it over to you. I'm gonna hand the mic to you.
Yeah.
So he's got Mike over here and he says, "The water's boiling, Mike. Mike, the water's boiling." Like, what is this talking about? The water's boiling. But Mike is glued in. The water's boiling. You can't drink the water when it's boiling. Mike was like,
I think he was trying to figure out the ancient Chinese proverb.
well, I don't know what, but I'm saying how Mike was dialed in to your voice. You wasn't talking kindly. You was from a place of authority, talking to this dude in a way that my voice did not work in that case.
Man, so the scripture that has been comforting me this whole week, even afterwards, is in the multitude of thy anxieties that comfort me. When I go from when you pass your bag, my boy is that's a signal that it's about to go down. So I go to, we about to rock somebody's socks, and I know there's at least 100 police officers in Ybor City. Remember when at the beginning of the night, I speak to a police officer, and he literally almost like, who are you? So I know they're not friendly. They are police officers that they lock you up, ask questions later.
Yep.
So that's in the back of my mind. We're about to rock some socks, because if you get to swinging, where I come from is we swing and settle the dust later.
There you go.
So I know immediately something go down like this. Somebody finna catch these hands, and these hands are not heavy. They are deadly, not heavy. I don't swing to hit. I swing to annihilate. Like I don't know nothing else.
You hear his voice?
So I'm at that moment, but then you say, hold on, he's not where we think he is. When he says this, my mind immediately goes to parts. You have a protector, you have a firefighter. This is a situation where man feels ultimately disrespected.
Yeah, because his words were, "Oh, you in there jumping?"
Yeah,
you about to, end my baby's life.
And I done seen him get slapped. I done seen him get bit. So I know this is a moment of disrespect. And so my thing is, he's a man who feels ultimately, publicly disrespected. And so that protector, that defender, that firefighter is activated. I can't talk to them because them don't have no sense right now. I have to talk to him, who is the center, who's only got to grab his own protectors, his firefighters, his defenders, and bring all of them back, because if they run the show, it's going to be detrimental.
Yeah.
So that's when I ask you, what is his name?
Yeah.
Because I need to talk to him, not his firefighter, not his responder, not his little boy, not his ego that has been bruised. I got to talk to him.
Yeah.
So that's when I ask the question, what's his name? And is he even going to respond? So I holler out Mike. And when he looks at me, I know we got a possible chance. He walks over, and it's as simple, but it's profound. It's simple because I know I have boiling water. And so this boiling water analogy is something that I found myself in, is when the situation is so hot, if you try to drink it, it will literally destroy your insides.
Yeah.
Like you can't do nothing with it. It's too hot.
And so you get to the point where 4 police officers are now surrounding us. And the 4 police officers are like, hey, what happened? Do y'all know him?
So the police officer comes up. He goes, did he hit her?
He said, did he put his hands on her?
Okay. All right.
Did he put his hands on her?
All right.
Technically, as I'm thinking about it, technically, no. Because what I saw was full on.
No, and my point is that certified men understand men.
Oh, we're going to go there next.
That are black.
Yeah.
And you stood there and intervened so that man would not be mishandled by the police.
Oh, that was
yes.
We
because
protected
now
his humanity.
You did it too. You chimed in.
Yeah, because my thing was, when I called Mike's name, whoever the other young lady who was with him, not his wife, she pushed him twice. She pushed Mike. So I'm like, Mike, come here. Because now he's getting pushed again. If he let it respond the wrong way,
yeah, bro,
that's gonna be something. So I'm calling you out of that moment. But now I'm talking to you about boiling water, because now you still offended and you trying to deal with this situation. You don't realize in that moment that there's 5, I think it was 5 or 4 police officers behind you.
Oh, it's 5. Ooh.
One is around the corner. You couldn't see them.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
There are 5 police officers. And I'm like, brother, if you don't get into this moment with me and let me have the authority, these are police officers are ready to do and exercise their authority.
Job,
So you got to surrender in this moment and bring this down. So as I'm talking in authority, I'm also talking in a way that police officers letting you know, as another black man, we got this.
And they said, and they actually thanked us for that.
I remember that.
Yep. They actually thanked us for that, man. You know, this is good, because you can mess up your whole life based off of a moment.
Oh,
and so what we saw was we recognized the moment. And I had to repent. This is what I want to get to. I had to repent because when I first saw his rage and his anger, it was coming up against my triggers. Because I don't like to see women, abused. I don't like to see kids abused. That turned something on in me. So when I saw that happening, it's like, without even using any kind of real discernment in the situation, the only thing I thought about was, protect, because the optics didn't look good. My man was pissed. But when you think about it, your pregnant wife in a club, jumping up and down, it was packed in there, and you trying to get her to come out, she comes out, she throws the ring, disrespectful to you, and all this crowd is seeing it. So a lot of stuff is going on. So you don't even see yourself, bro.
And we don't know what had happened earlier that day, earlier in the week.
Yep.
If they had a toxic relationship and it's all just coming to boil, all coming up for this mess.
And that's the thing. I told him the only thing you could do in this hot water is drop a bag of tea.
Tea bag. Yep.
When situations of disrespect, they're just not showing themselves. This is not the first time. This is a lot that's going on.
Yeah, let's be clear on that.
And so you're trying to respond in this moment at the hot water. No, you need to step back, brother, and take a look at this and see this whole glass of tea, because this is the situation that is now boiled over. Is this tea? Is this glass really drinking? Really worth drinking, really worth consuming.
Yeah. And the interesting part is like I said, I could have been just like many of the other situations where law enforcement shows up, sees an aggressive black man. He's mad. He's raging because he's pissed. And sometimes as black men, we don't fully know how to vent those emotions of hurt, those emotions of feeling rejected. And we don't know how to vent it, so it just looked like anger. But when I looked in his eyes and I was able to, in that split second, be able to discern, he ain't trying to hurt this girl. Not like that. He's not trying to like that. He's not. So that's why I stepped back.
Anger is the icing on the cake of hurt.
Say it one more time.
Anger is often the icing on the cake of hurt.
And so being able to have him just listen to you. And so we walked away. It was after I was all said and done. He comes back around the corner and he pauses and he said, hey, man, I want to thank y'all brothers for that. Because there was a moment, I didn't say this, we was protecting them. Because he was saying, what happened? Do y'all know him? No, we don't know him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They were, the police officers was questioning to the T because they were ready to immediately come. And I think him seeing, thank you, God. He thought originally that we were there to do him in.
Well, originally, he was about to get
But he
in.
could have got done in.
Yeah.
But also, he saw us, the same guys who saying, no, you can't go that route and we're not going to let you do this, is also the same guys that saying to the police officers, if he can calm himself down, we're not going to let you do that to him.
Can I add another dynamic? Those police officers showed up with a prejudice.
Oh, yeah.
And you felt it.
And they showed up with the prejudice,
You felt it.
not because they knew him, but it's another black man. And the media, this hurts my heart, the media has portrayed black men as being beasts and animals and all the other kind of trash that goes along with that. So when they showed up, they probably were more on an alert of a 6 as opposed to a 3 or whatever that scale is, because they saw a black man. And to all black men, we have to be aware of the fact that my son, unfortunately, I've had to teach him, if you ever get stopped, roll all the windows down, turn the radio off, immediately grab your license and your insurance, put on the dash, and put your hands outside of the window. Because I want my child to come home.
Yeah, bro.
I saw that because I actually locked eyes with 2 of the police officers. They walked up on the scene. They're going to get me wrong. That domestic violence, I have deacons that are law enforcement.
One was a lady though, right?
Yes.
From a law enforcement perspective, I got deacons that are law enforcement officers, and one of the most detrimental calls or scariest calls for a law enforcement officer is a domestic violence call. You don't know what you're going to see. There's so many. There's the murder-suicide cases. Those are domestic violence. Guys coming to our house. So I get it. I saw the eyes. I locked eyes with those two police officers, and I saw them on alert. They're standing there. They're standing there with, hand is on one, another one, and they're scanning for the situation. And I saw a level of the prejudice. That's why I as a man, I didn't want to surrender him over if he could bring it down.
Yeah.
I want to say one more thing, and that is, after everything had dissolved, there were 2 police officers that thanked me.
Wow.
Why do you think they thanked you?
For getting them involved, for how the whole thing, I believe some of the thanks was for, it was for us. But they thanked, particularly the one that actually responded to me. But here's the point. We may not be able to change the overall perspective of how people see us as a threat.
Right.
But I do believe that when we have opportunity, we can change how 1, or in this case, 2, see educated black men engage in community for the good of those that are involved.
I'm going to go a little further because all is connected. It connects back to the prayer that opened the weekend. The moment we got there, that prayer, before luggage was even brought fully into the house, set not only just a precedence for the Airbnb, but it covered the weekend. Because what was amazing about that week is before this incident happened, we were actually sitting, just watching, being vigilant for 3 hours. That I really believe there was a supernatural presence that didn't allow us to sit back and relax. I mean, we watched the city. We're like, man, there's a lot of young folks. Y'all were talking about y'all got daughters y'all age. And I'm like, we sitting out here like old men. Just people watching.
Hey, KD said, Derwin is sleepy. Yeah, it's like this.
Man, because it's past my bedtime, brother. I get into bed at 9. And, it's 1:30 in the morning. I'm sitting over here on the side. But that was a precursor to all of these moments passing by, because I truly believe that had we not intervened, we don't know what would have been the outcome. And it's not on us. It's the supernatural that allows us to be aware and alert and even step outside of ourselves to even move in those moments. And to that, brothers, I'm thankful for you guys and God.
Thank you. You're welcome, bro. A couple takeaways here real quick before we move on to this next thing. So one, I want to talk about making sure that we understand the necessity of us, in essence, policing our own communities.
Yes.
We got to show up for each other in a way that sometimes it can be, it could be a bit daunting. Like we're in this place where, hey man, I don't want to get in other folks' business. But if you have community.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Hey, bro. Hey, I need you to get in my business. I need you to have the courage enough to be able to tell me, hey, bro, you're going to do what you want to do, and I'm going to respect that. But hey, you can't do that. I don't think that that's a good look for you. And if it's somebody that, man, I could never, and this would never happen under any circumstance, seeing some close friends of mine putting their hands on their wife. And I'm like, that ain't none of my business. Nah, that'll never be me, bro. It'll never be me. Because I always want to make sure that you knew what you was getting when you were getting me. This, I say it now. In our community, this is what you getting when you get me. I'm going to respect you. I'm going to try to protect you. I'm going to cover you. But you're not doing the bullshit. No, not in my face. Can't do that. And I'm never going to be okay with that. You're talking crazy and all this kind of stuff. Hey, outside of the presence, I'm going to check you. But if you're in my presence and you putting your hand, man, come on, bro. That'll never be okay. Ever.
Even when we were pastoring, I remember there was one time that's how I was coaching our men and telling people, listen, any woman in this church that has an issue, we all going.
Mm-hmm. And you rather, and they would rather it be you than law enforcement per se, and no disrespect to law enforcement, who doesn't know you, who doesn't understand your heart, who doesn't understand that this is just a moment. Hey, we all gonna show up, and we're gonna show up like we show up. Say less.
And it was a vote to our community. I mean, so we talking about community, right?
Yep.
It was a value statement that men that were part of the church that knew me. No, what does 33 say? A real man
rejects passivity.
Never stands by. Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. Rejects passivity. I can't stand, and that's what we've been saying. Right. You can't stand by and watch injustice.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing, and we're closing for here, is that brothers got to learn to be willing to let another brother step in to bring them down.
And that's the other part. The other part is that whole structures piece. Maybe you can't, your words to me don't hit like his words to me. But if we in community, that's the value of everybody speaking up.
Yeah.
Everybody saying something. Everybody putting their input in, their love and their care in. Because what one says, I could have said the same exact thing you said, and it would not have landed. Because the structures in my voice didn't have that level of authority in that case. But I'm saying, if we show up together like we did, help me with that.
But the structures in your being, in your voice, it dissolved the initial confrontation.
Yeah,
so it's not just one person with all the structure. It is how God brings us into community and how we're able to mix as a blend.
I didn't see that. That's good.
Because it's not that, okay, let me just hold down to no.
When you showed up and you responded, it gave a level of safety to the females that was involved in the situation.
You said that.
My voice came to that gentleman, and Jasper dealt with the law enforcement and the collectively approach to the whole situation. I think, one man watered, another man planted, but God gives the increase. Us collectively in the approach came to really bring a level of presence and safety in the whole situation.
Just in case you're wondering, I was one. All right. The one was about it. I was about it. He dissolved the situation.
Number 3.
He was number 3. This one right here, I know this is going to throw y'all off. Y'all wasn't ready for this one. This was the one that was waiting for something to pop off so he can vent some of that displaced aggression. Okay, don't make me go back to what you said, because I know what you said.
Listen, everybody know that Derwin was the one with the tea bag.
Wait a minute. What? No, we're not going to do that. Wait a minute. What you say to me, Jasper? You said, hey, if he had did X, Y, Z, what you say? In essence, you would lay hands on him suddenly in prayer. I'm just going to say it nicely. Not that I would stop a mud hole in him and walk it dry. Nothing like that. It was the scripture one.
So tell Alicia, tell the story about Alicia. Because like I said, that I had to tell the whole story.
So I get to your house as we're doing the drop off. And I said, yeah, man. What did I say?
You talking to Alicia?
I said, yeah.
Because I don't know what you said.
I said, your husband almost got in a fight.
That's it.
She said, again? I said, wait a minute. Oh. I said, again? Yeah. And she was looking at you like this.
Here you go. You know what she asked Quad? She said, Dad almost got into a fight. Quad goes, again? Really, Dad?
You just didn't fight enough when you was younger, bro.
No, I ain't never been a squabble. I have never
squabble that weekend.
Shoot, I just think I can fight.
Man, come on, bro. Of course you can.
Yeah. So I had to get in and tell the entire story for Alicia to realize that you were joking. So you owe me a cup of coffee.
I wasn't joking though.
Man,
this man
next
almost got into a fight.
Actually, that's part of the reason why I left. Because I didn't want, now I'm thinking about it, because I didn't want my mouth to start popping off.
Oh. See, I'm more finesse. You more black and white.
Shoot. But that's my gift.
Mm-hmm.
My redemptive gift is that prophets are black and white.
Mm-hmm.
The other part I think was so interesting was the conversation that we had with the older black woman and her daughter that was there. That was an interesting situation. I didn't really think was going to sit with me the way it did, but it sat with me for a long time. So in essence, this is this woman, and baby girl, if you're watching this, it's all love. It's all love. We just on the side of the streets in the elements. What time for us to give counseling? But we talked about it at length when we left. So in essence,
so they're walking. I don't know how many ladies gonna like this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I had been testing to see if black women would respond kindly.
That's right.
To my hello.
Just a hi.
Just a hi.
Hey, not hey, baby, what's up? Hey, what's happening?
No.
None of that.
None of that. And then we threw white women in there. So I'm just telling you what happened. And so
we asked 10 white women.
For clarification, we're not catcalling. We're not inappropriate. This is not
we've been talking about
holla. This. I'm saying this for the audience because we out in Ybor City on the Bachelor trip. We just literally sitting down on a it's like a flower stoop that's brick.
None of us would have let the other get into anything that we need to be in.
Yeah. But we're just talking about people walking by, and we say, hey, they literally 1 foot in front. We say, hey, when they speak back and say, hey.
DZ was almost waving, almost like he was on the spectrum a little bit. He was like, his wave had a little extra. It was like, a little extra on it,
Yeah.
And so 10 black women, 10 white women. Man, and so we said, we knew what the answer was. So we asked the ladies, hey, we asked 10 black, 10 white. We just said, hey, who you think spoke back the most?
White women.
That's what she said. She said, probably white women, because black women, they don't really be.
And she was a black woman.
Yep.
But now they were the ones that entertained our hello, and they were kind. They returned the energy that we had given off, but they were older.
And even some gave you the high five. You was like, high five.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they were older. Some were younger.
No, I'm talking about the mother and the daughter.
Yeah. They were older.
I think she was like 34, the daughter, and the mom was 50, whatever.
56.
Yeah, okay.
But the thing is, just that part alone, like, we even did the thing where you said, wow, why are you not smiling? And he's like, you know what? I don't know why I'm not smiling. And she started smiling. Remember that girl?
Mhm.
Yeah, she's a little younger. I don't know why I'm not smiling. She started smiling. We didn't even try that with a sister because we know better. Yeah, that ain't going to fly. But my point is that of all of the explanations that you can give as to why it was like that, ain't there some growth in that we could probably learn from? Or maybe you would say that ain't got nothing to do with me, or maybe that was just the ones that you chose. But 10 out of 10, and we ended up getting 2 out of 10, that says something, though, as far as the ones saying hello and the ones that didn't say hello.
Just
That's the thing.
I mean, it's just some are just not approachable. I mean, it's just
easy. But that's a thing, though, ain't it?
But why? Well, that's a question we got to ask these ladies. Why is that an issue where they're just like grimacing? It's
Well,
like,
so let's play angel's advocate. I'm the woman. I'm saying, well, I don't owe you a hello. I don't owe you that.
You mean role play this?
Yeah.
No, you do not. I was just trying to be kind.
Yeah. All right. Cool. And why are you speaking to somebody anyway? And you got a wife? Oh, I know you want to answer that question. Pissed me off. That pissed me off. I didn't want to answer that one. Yeah. Why are you speaking to me anyway? What? So because I'm married to somebody else, I can't say hi? It's dumb. That's dumb. That's very, very dumb. So I think that part. So we ended up having a conversation with,
you said, there's so much more.
There's a lot of layers here,
could
bro.
be said about that's 8-episode series.
Yep. But I don't want to become that conversation where we're pitting us against each other, because I don't believe that. I think we're better together, and Black love, #Black love, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there talking to this lady. She's in a relationship with this man for 30 years. He decides to leave. Her version. He leaves, and he chose to give up everything that we built for 30 years to be with somebody that was younger. And now he's in a relationship or married to somebody younger. And we listened to her talk. And the more she talked, it sounded terrible for him. It was awful for him. You got a family here, and you just walked out on your family. Then we just started asking a few questions. So you didn't see it coming before?
This was amazing because this turned into maybe a 45-minute counseling session. And I was chuckling because I was like, this is a bachelor's trip. And these two brothers and preachers, therapists, talk show hosts.
No, let's get it straight. Katie was the one conducting the cross-examination.
Because
I was done. I had scooted over. When I saw wasn't nothing going to change, I'm like, hey,
I was like,
let me check my
brother is
email.
counseling.
Because I was curious.
In Ybor City.
At this point, like
1 o'clock in the morning.
like you don't have no part in this, huh? So wow, I'm like, so man, so you didn't see it coming? Well, I mean, he kept talking about. So why did he say he left? Well, he kept going back to old stuff and talking about some stuff that happened a long time ago. Well, I'm not doing that anymore. Come to find out, she had her own stuff. And then I thought about it, brothers. I think that there's a thing where men. We have grace in the beginning. We have grace to deal with stuff in the beginning. We have a certain amount of fight in us in the beginning. But we're talking about 30 years here. So I know for me specifically, I'll just talk about me. That there was a point where I made up my mind that this isn't going to get any better. Mm-hmm. And once that lever was switched, then I became somebody else. Mm. I became the person that's what that relationship is. And I turn off my expectations to think that it's going to be anything else. Mm. And I start creating contingency plans in my head with now understanding I'm still a man of God. So there's certain things I can't do. But I do know that if I'm thinking about my ultimate happiness, it ain't here. So now when she said eventually she wanted to change and I wanted to work together. But you're coming now, this is going to sound terrible, but I got to say this. Now you're presenting, after 15 or so years, a heavier version of you, an older version of you, a menopausal version of you, and all of this when I'm begging and asking and hoping that we can work it together. When the things that I truly enjoyed, being in shape, your femininity, your viscosity of certain things, probably gonna take that part out. But I'm saying all of that was still in place. But now that that's gone, you want to bring this version of you to me, talking about let's work it out. Hey, bro, I don't think that deserves a conversation. Because it's one thing to say all of life is going to happen. But if I've had a willing person all throughout that, so now when you hit the wall, I'm still going to be here with you because you was there with me through it all. And so now, but if we didn't have none of that, I don't have that track record where you was willing to work it out. You was willing to say, I'm sorry. You was willing to even do counseling. If I don't have that, and now you're bringing this version of you, you want to introduce yourself new to me now? Yeah, no. And I could be wrong for that. And I will leave space for that. But most guys, I'm good. I'm good. I'm on something else.
I'm going to flip it and add a singular woman's perspective. So my journey to mental wellness, I've dealt with it for 27 years. 27 years. And as I've gotten older and taken on more challenges like starting a church and building a brand and those kinds of things, and even more, even the stress while we were pastoring traditionally, the worst thing for any kind of mental issue is stress. And I remember Alicia and I talking, and it's like it hit me. I said, the only reason you're with me is because you see me working on me. Your words, doing the work. Wow. You know what she said? Nothing. She looked at me and her look said, you're exactly right. Oh, man. So if we look at this woman who was not willing to change, I mean, I've been in therapy for a long time and doing a lot of therapy, sometimes 2 times a week.
Yeah.
She sees that I'm working on myself and that I want better and that my words are lining up because of my actions. And I don't know if that's more of a principle or not.
Faith without works is dead.
Faith without works is dead. But what I'm saying, to go back and ask you, so we had the woman who was unwilling to change. But now I have a woman who's willing to keep believing because I'm willing to change.
Bro, you putting gas or you putting logs on that fire of hope for her. Are you constantly working, constantly trying to figure it out? The journey, and she saw you working real time every day. I mean, that means something. And I think that means something for men and women. If you have a willing participant,
right?
Somebody that is willing to say, hey, somebody's willing to take accountability. Somebody that is willing to say, I don't always know all the answers, but I see that this is bothering you. And I'm willing to do the work to make sure that my hand in you feeling that way does not exist. And it was the thing when she said, he threw it away. That was the thing that got up under my skin. Because did he really throw it away? Think about it.
Or has she been throwing it away? And I raise the question. I just simply raise the question.
You never know the answers to their situations, but to those watching, I think there was something powerful. It works if you work.
It works if you work it.
It works if you're willing to put the work. And some of us are throwing situations away, saying we want it, but we're not working it. We're not putting those actions in. And that's what stage, especially me getting married the second time around, I'm learning that if you work it, it'll work.
It takes work, bro. My mother, when she would do our homework, we would do our homework and we did math. We could get all the answers right, but she didn't believe them.
Until you showed her the work.
Until she showed her that paper, but we did the work.
How'd you get to your answer?
How did you get show me the work? It's not about you knowing the right thing. Where's the work that went in to get you to that space? Because sometimes it's in the working that you determine, I'm operating off of something totally incorrect. So let me fix all of this. And so the work is necessary. And you can't say, well, I am doing the work. If you are doing the work, let me see. Show me. Show me where you worked it out. And I think that for all of us, men and women alike, you're going to continue to grow. And as you continue to grow, there are going to be iterations of yourself that's going to be shed.
Yeah.
And you're going to become a brand new person, new perspectives. There are things that I learned 2 years ago. Man, that's elementary to me now.
Right.
But then there's some things that I'm walking into now. Man, it's hard as hell. It's tough. Because I grew to a certain place where now I'm on a whole nother level. I don't know nothing on this level. I got to figure it out and I got to learn it. But that if you become a consistent student, man, that's how we're going to win. Consistent student. That's how we're going to win.
Yes. And I think that consistency and being students happens in community as what we are forming or have formed. But the one thing that sticks out to me as I go back and I review so many highlights of our trip was that I took the trip with the right brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
My community was solid and we share values. We want to please God.
Yeah.
And so I'd simply say you can be in multiple communities. When it comes down to your GZ3, you gotta make sure those three are of your same convictions.
I'm gonna ask this question to everybody. You know, what did this trip do for you?
Well,
and then I answer.
Well, it solidified our relationship in a way because it's one thing is you pray together, but I need to know what it's like when we play together. I need to know what that looks like, and being able to see each of you with the clergy collar off, and still know that person has an extreme amount of fun, but they still disciplined. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they still did. I knew that about you because we wouldn't have hung out. This is the first time I really hung out with you on this wise, and I was very impressed. Now there are versions of this story I'm not going to say up here. This man is okay. I'm not going to do that, but he's a good dude. Let me just say it like this: that power and godliness and anointing on his life makes him stand out.
I have no idea what you're going to say.
Yes.
Derwin.
The thing that I love, and I answer it this way, I love that as we went out as brothers and had a good time with us, we didn't need anyone else to be our party. And that stood out, that we were a party amongst ourselves.
And
what I love is that we were also our own bouncers to our parties that no one else could get in.
Yeah.
And that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that's what he's talking about. That aura, that's presence.
A good way of saying it. Man, I would have never thought about it like that.
We were our own VIP section that no one else could ever crack the code. And even if they came at the bouncers, like, hey, blessings.
Just know that we had to be bouncer.
Just,
in certain cases.
But even at that moment, it's like, I give this example. We sitting up, we out and we having in front of the fire pit and we sitting to ourselves.
Watch it. All right. It's been a good time, ladies and gentlemen. We've had an amazing time here today talking to my brothers. And I want to hear your comments. In the comment section, I really do want to hear what your takeaway from this conversation is. And also the other thing for me is make sure that you have a circle of brothers that you can truly roll with. The ones that know the good you, the whole you, and the unhealed or the
not yet processed.
The not yet processed. Yeah. So find that community. I would love for you to be able to find that in our community, Man Up community. We have a program called Man Up Certified. More information about that is coming shortly in the next couple of weeks. But final thoughts, guys.
Amen. It was good. I'm ready to go again.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys, man. The level of brotherhood, the fun, the laughing, the wisdom, the strategies, the challenges, the rebukes, just all of it, man. Even y'all rest pattern. Y'all brother got some rest. Y'all showed me that I really don't be. We get in, 2:00. Y'all sleep to 12, and I'm like, hey.
12. I slept till 1:30.
But even at that moment of like, hey, the cadence and rhythm and stuff. I mean, it was phenomenal, man.
Yeah,
and
I really enjoyed it.
I didn't know how much I needed, so I'm thinking, and it was last minute, but it was right on time.
Absolutely.
So huge.
I love y'all. Finest.
Love you too, man.
I love y'all.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's it.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Hey,
oh my gosh.
Comment, share. Until next time, man up.